Hi, my name's David. Today I want to talk a little bit about the Zpro lithium battery and show you how you can get the most out of it, show you how you can get the best readings with the shunt. First, what I want to do is I want to come over here. Let's see what kind of charge this battery's got right now. So I've got a battery tester here. So I'm just going to connect positive negative to this battery tester here. And I'm pulling 13.22 volts out of this battery right now at the charge that it's currently at. It's also a good idea to also see if you're getting the same kind of read out of the plug. If you get a lower read out of the plug, it could mean that maybe you have a bad connection between the terminals and the plug. I'm getting the exact same read, 13.22, kind of shaking around a little bit, but there you go. Okay, so I do also have a Renogy battery monitor with a shunt, and it comes with this really long wire here. They give you this long wire because most of these are used with boats which need a lot of wire. Sometimes camping as well, your campers require a lot of wire, so they give you a lot of that wire. This is the actual monitor. It's very thin, it's not very thick. This will give you all the information that you need on the read. This here is the shunt. And this shunt can be a little confusing if you've never put one together. It's actually not as hard as it looks. There's some YouTube videos out that can show you how to connect a shunt. The instructions weren't as easy to understand, but once I watched the video, I got it together pretty quick. So here's a shunt that's already installed in the battery box here. I got two batteries here, two Zpro batteries. So we're just looking at this 100 amp per hour 12 volt lithium right now. So I'm going to take this battery monitor wire and I'm going to plug it in to the shunt. And it just plugs right in. It's like 5 pins, and you just push the plug in. Oh, I had it backwards. Here we go. Now it's plugged in. So last Saturday I went fishing, and let's see, I was on the water from 6:30 to about 1, 7:30, 8:30, 9:30, 10:30, 11:30, 12:30, 1, 6.5 hours. Then I went back out in the water for 2 more hours. That gives me about 8.5 hours. And then I did another 3-4 more hours in the next morning. So it was a 2-day trip. So 6, 8, for about 12 hours on the water. And this is what the battery monitor is telling me right now. By the way, that same monitor I showed you, I put inside this black box. It's a little thicker in width than I was looking for. But it's what I found for now. I may switch it out later if I can find a thinner box, because your monitor itself is not that thin. You could even consider putting that monitor into the hull if you didn't mind making a hole that size. But here's how mine's connected here. The wire goes through here and into the shunt. Okay, so I've got 37% battery life left. It tells you there I've got 36 amps per hour left in the battery. It tells you I'm getting 13.1 volts output out of this battery. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to turn the motor on, and we're going to take a look at these numbers and see how these numbers fluctuate with the amount of battery power that I've got left in this battery. And then later I'm going to charge the battery up and we'll look at it again. Okay, so I've got the propeller turning. By the way, I'm using an airplane propeller for anybody that is interested in knowing anything about the airplane type propeller. You do get about a half mile an hour speed out of it. Does not work great with weeds and grass in the water, but does give you just a little bit of extra speed. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to adjust the speed of the motor, and we're going to look at how these numbers fluctuate. So right now it's saying, I've got it at the way this iPilot works is I've got 20 speeds. They go in halves. So half, 1, 1.5, 2, 2.5, all the way up to 10. The higher I go, the more it affects the output of the battery. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put it on 4. That's speed 4. And I normally troll in my kayak, and when I troll about 3.5 to 4 on the speed, which gives me about 2 to 2.4 miles per hour. So you'll see here it's dropped to 36 amps per hour, and you see 17.25. That means if I trolled with this battery at this speed, I should be getting 16 hours out of this battery. And it's changing because I just turned it on, so it's trying to adjust. And I believe it's probably going to go all the way down to 6 as it adjusts. But it's putting out 13.0 volts, 2.6 amps. You can see I'm at 34 watts, but I'm going to go all the way up here. I'm going to jump it up to about speed 8. Now you can see the watts have jumped to 76 watts. The amps are 5.8. And my 8 hours is what I'm going to get at this speed. If I maintain this speed on this battery, that's what I can expect to get, is about 7 to 8. So I'm going to bring it back down again. Okay, I'm back down to a speed of 4. My amps have dropped to 2.63. Watts have dropped to 34 watts. My expected time out of this battery is now 12. Okay, so now what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to charge this battery up to 100%. It's only at 37%. Again, I think I ran roughly about 12 hours on this battery and didn't even use all the battery. I still got 37% battery left, 13 hours. If I were to go at the speed I'm at now, which is a 4, which probably would be equivalent to maybe 2.2, 2.3 miles per hour on the water. Okay, so I think most people probably have figured out or heard that it's not a good idea to run any accessories with the same battery that you're running your motor on. You tend to get a lot of interference, especially let's say if you run a fish finder, your screen is not going to be very clear. And if you run GoPros, you could stand the chance of maybe popping a fuse, damaging some accessories, because it could cause some fluctuation in power. So that's why I have batteries on this kayak. I've got one battery that runs the fish finder, the GoPro, any other accessories. I've even charged my radio, my marine radio on here, connected speaker to listen to music on here. This is a unique kind of battery box here. I got this from Napa, and last I checked, this battery was $40 on Napa. It was on sale. The only thing I've done different is I did upgrade the USB ports to a 3.0. I think it came with like a 2.1, and I upgraded it to a 3.0, give myself a faster charge. This is the 12 volt. These are your quick connectors, which are really mostly used for vehicles, but you could use it for camper, and you could use it. It works just the same. And then over here, you've got your positive and negative also. I like this battery box. It gives me a lot of options. And this is where I connect any accessories that I have. So I dedicate this other battery here just for the motor. Okay, so one thing about chargers, a lot of people wonder, can you use an extension cord or a power strip with a charger? Most manufacturers are going to say it's not safe. Here's the background behind that. Most circuits at home are rated with 15 amp AC, commonly 20 amp as well. Most extension cords are only rated at 10 amps. Which makes them not as good, potentially causing a fire, worst case scenario. So a lot of people probably have used extension cords and will tell you it's fine, nothing ever happens. But that's why manufacturers tell you not to use the extension cord, because they're not rated as well as your house amperage. Also, I want to mention it's a good idea when you get one, if it has a fan, which is this one does, that keeps the charger cool. This one here I purchased through the Zpro website. It's not my first charger. I had another charger. It was built a little different. The other one was built is it had vents built onto the outside with no fan. It did overheat, and it only lasted 4 months. I really like this lithium charger that I got off the Zpro website. Have not had any issues with it. Charges great. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to flip this around here. So this charger comes with these easy clamps, and I'm just going to clamp these to the terminals, and you'll notice that the light did change from green, and then I charge it, to red, meaning that it's in charging mode, and it'll stay red until it's completely charged, and then at that time it'll turn green. So I'm going to let this 12 volt 100 amp battery charge. Then we're going to put it back on the kayak. We'll look at the numbers again. Okay, so now the 12 volt 100 amp battery shows to be fully charged. It took 4 hours and about 15 minutes to take it from 37% back to 100%. We're going to take a quick read before I disconnect. There's two kinds of reads you can get. There's the one right as soon as you're done charging it, which isn't an accurate read, and then if you wait 30 to 45 minutes later and you measure again, you'll get more of an accurate read. So we're going to do both. So the charger is still connected, and it says here we're getting a 1451 read, and that's because the charger is still connected and it's showing full power. So sometimes that's why it's not accurate, is because it's not at a resting measurement. I also want to mention this is a 12 volt 20 amp charger, and the good thing about these clips is these plastic coatings, they protect you from accidentally touching your positive and negative together, causing a spark and a possible damage to your charger. Real good that it's got the plastic coating on the clamps. Okay, so we're back out, and I've got both batteries charged. The other one, by the way, is a 50 amp lithium battery that I run my accessories on. So we're going to take a look at the monitor, the battery monitor, and see what kind of numbers we have. Okay, so here's our monitor. It says we're running 99 amp per hour, and we're at 100%, 12.9 volts. And I'm going to turn this motor up a little bit. Matter of fact, I'm going to turn this motor up all the way to its highest level. So at this level, it's saying that if I continue to run this battery, I'm running 99 watts and 7 or 8 amps. My battery's charged at 13.3 volts, and I can run at this speed for approximately 18 hours before this battery will die. So I'm going to turn that down a little bit now. I'm going to go down to my usual speed, 3.5 on the speed, which is about 2 miles per hour. Says I can run this battery at 31 hours if I maintain this speed, putting out 32 watts. This is a 45 thrust motor, by the way. This kayak is an Old Town Autopilot 120. So it runs with a Minn Kota motor, which comes with the kayak. Okay, and so we'll take a look at some of the accessories now. I'm going to plug this one in here, and I use these. They're really easy to connect, and then you just screw it, and I use those to connect to my accessories with the 50 amp battery, and then I can turn on my fish finder. So with this 50 amp battery here, we can look at the dials. See if I can get these wires out of the way here. It says I got 13.4 on one dial, 13.3 on the other dial. I just happen to have another one down here that says 13.3 also on this Bluetooth. So this Bluetooth, by the way, runs all the way to the front to run that GoPro. I've got another GoPro in the back that's connected to a different wire here. So again, 50 amp battery. I have got my marine battery radio connected. I've got 2 USBs connected in here. I've got my fish finder connected here. And so I'm running 2 GoPros, and then up here I'm also running or could run my cell phone. I've got a cell phone holder here, very sturdy. Here's a connector to connect my cell phone and keep the cell phone charged. And the reason that I use that cell phone there is because I use an app to operate the GoPros on the phone. And I like my phone right here where I can operate the GoPros through that third-party app. And so I'm running a lot of accessories on this kayak through this 50 amp battery. And then I just run the motor here through the 100 amp battery. And these Zpro batteries, they'll handle all of these accessories, and they'll keep me on the water for a really long time with one running the motor and the other running the accessories. Now, it doesn't take a 50 amp battery to run these accessories. You can get away with a 10 amp battery or a 20 or 30 amp battery, but I run a 50 because it's also my backup battery, just in case I stay out in the water too long and I need more battery because I used up the 100 amp, which would probably never happen, but that is a backup battery, and that's why I use a 50 amp in that size. So I use just AAA batteries to run my 360 light here. And that is how I run my autopilot kayak when I'm on the water. And I like the way it runs with the batteries.